A choice of meditation exercise, Kamatana. We know from the Visuddhimagga that there are 10 points of view, 10 ways in which subjects, Kamatana meditation can be understood. 1. By way of number, 2. By way of concentration, 3. By way of jhana, 4. By way of transcending, 5. By way of extension, 6. By way of object, 7. By way of plane of existence, 8. By way of taking, 9. By way of cause, 10. By way of suitable character. A comprehensive knowledge of the subjects of Kamatanha is essential for all students, especially for those who choose the system of samatha meditation to gain their emancipation. The disciple will acquire this essential knowledge by a study of Kamatanha pursued in the 10 ways, and by finding a suitable and experienced teacher. If he is unable to find the said teacher, his study itself will take the place of a teacher. A detailed exposition of the subjects of Kamatanha will be found in the Visuddhimagga, and a brief account of it follows. 1. There are 40 subjects arranged in 7 groups. And the first, the 10 objects called kasina devices. 1. The earth kasina, patavi kasina. 2. The water device, apo kasina. 3. Fire device, tejo kasina. 4. Air device, vayo kasina. 5. Blue device, nila kasina. 6. Yellow device, pitta kasina. 7. Red device, lohita kasina. 8. White device, odata kasina. 9. Space device, akasa kasina. 10. Consciousness device, Vijnana kasina. 2. The 10 asubhas or objects of impurities. 1. A swollen corpse, udu mataka. 2. A discoloured corpse, vini laka. 3. A festering corpse, pi pu baka. 4. A fissured corpse, vichidaka. 5. A mangled corpse, vika yitaka. 6. A dismembered corpse, vichitaka. 7. A cut and dismembered corpse, hata wikitaka. 8. A worm-infested corpse, pula waka. 9. A bleeding corpse, lohitaka. 10. A skeleton, atika. 3. The 10 recollections or anusatis. 1. Recollection of the Buddha, Buddha nusati. 2. Recollection of the Dhamma, Dhamma nusati. 3. Recollection of the Sangha, Sangha nusati. 4. Recollection of morality, Sila nusati. 5. Recollection of charity, Kaga nusati. 6. Recollection of the Devas, Devata nusati. 7. Mindfulness of breathing, Anapanasati. 8. Mindfulness of death, Marana nusati. 9. Mindfulness of the body, Kaya Gata Sati. And 10. Mindfulness of calmness, Upasamanusati. 4. 4 excellent states or 4 Brahma Vihara. 1. loving kindness, metta; 2. Compassion, karuna; 3. Sympathy, mudita; 4. Equanimity, upekkha; 5. 4 formless or 4 arupa jhanas. 1. Sphere of infinite space, akasananchayatana; 2. Sphere of infinite consciousness, vinyananchayatana; 3. Sphere of nothingness, akinchana-yatana; 4. Sphere of neither perception nor non-perception, neva sananyatana; 6. Perception of the loathsomeness of nutriment, ahare patikula sanya; 7. Analysis of the 4 elements, katu dhatu watana; 2. By way of concentration, samadhi. The subjects of kamatanha are of 2 kinds: those which induce only upachara samadhi, and those which induce both upachara samadhi and appanna samadhi. Of the 40 subjects, only 10 only are capable of inducing upachara samadhi, access concentration of the loathsomeness of nutriment and the analysis of the elements. The other 30 induce appanna samadhi, or concentration of jhana. 3. By way of jhana, mental absorption. 11 of the subjects, mindfulness of respiration, and the 10 kasinas serve to induce all the rupa jhanas, both in the 4-fold and 5-fold systems. 11 others, mindfulness or the recollection of the body and the 10 objects of impurity, are capable of inducing only the 1st jhana. The first 3 Brahma Viharas are a means of attaining the first 3 jhanas, and the 4th Brahma Vihara of attaining the 4th jhana. The 4 formless spheres induce the 4 arupa jhanas respectively. 4. By way of transcending samatikama. In this manner, the subjects are of 2 kinds: those transcending the constituent factor, anga samatikama, and those transcending the object, aramana samatikama. All those objects are capable of inducing 3 or 4 jhanas, and transcending the factors of each jhana successively in the process of higher attainment. For it is by the elimination of the lower factors of one jhana that the higher jhana is attained. In the case of the 4 formless spheres, the object itself of each meditation is transcended with the passing from one sphere to the next. In the remaining objects, of which 10 induce merely access concentration, and the others only the 1st jhana, no transcending takes place. 5. By way of extension, vadana. Among the 40 subjects, it is only in the case of the 10 kasinas that the mental object should be extended in regard to the attainment of psychic powers. Whatever space is suffused by the kasina object, it is possible within limits of that space to hear with the aid of clairaudience sounds normally inaudible, to see distant forms through clairvoyance, and to know the mental state of other beings. The mental object of the remaining 30 subjects requires no extension, for there is no special advantage in it. 6. By way of objects, nimitta, according to the Abhidhamma Sangaha, there are 3 objects which are termed nimitta, sign or mark, namely 1. Parikama nimitta, the preamble or the work of preliminary exercise. 2. Ugaha nimitta, the mental image or the mark developed into a mental representation of the preamble. 3. Patibhaga nimitta, the after image or the mark arising from the mental image as the meditation develops into the jhana state. 7. By way of plane of existence, bhumi, 12 of the subjects, the 10 objects of impurity, the perception of the loathsomeness of nutriment and mindfulness of the body do not exist in the Deva world. The same 12, with the addition of the Anapanasati, do not exist in the Brahma world. In the formless world, none of them exist, except in the 4 formless spheres. In the human world, all of them exist. 8. By way of taking, grahana, 9 kasinas, the air kasina being omitted, and the 10 objects of impurity. These 19 are to be taken or practiced by means of the faculty of sight. The object of mindfulness of respiration is to be taken by touch or feeling, and the object of the air kasina by sight or touch. That of the remaining 18 by hearing. 5 of the subjects, the 4th Brahma Vihara and the 4 formless spheres, should not be taken by beginners, for they should normally follow the 3rd and 4th jhanas respectively. 9. By way of cause, Pataya, 9 kasinas, the space kasina being omitted, are able to originate or become the cause of the formless attainment. All kasinas lead to higher knowledge together with the superhuman achievements. The first 3 Brahma Viharas are the cause of the 4th. 1 formless sphere is the cause of the next, and so no until the highest is reached. Meditation is the cause of happiness in the present lifetime, the growth of full knowledge, and a happy rebirth until the attainment of nirvana. 10. By way of suitable character, karitanu kula, the following subjects of meditation are suitable for the various types of character. The 10 asubhas, impurity, and kayagata sati, mindfulness of the body, are suitable for the lustful character. The 4 Brahma Viharas and the 4 coloured kasinas are beneficial for the hateful character. Anapanasati, mindfulness of respiration, is suitable for the deluded character. The first 6 anusatis are prescribed for one who is faithful. Maranasati, mindfulness of death. Upasamanusati, recollection of peace. Katu Datu Vavatana, the analysis of the 4 elements, and Ahare Patikulasana, the contemplation of the loathsomeness of nutriment. recommended to one who is intelligent. Anapanasati is suitable for one who is disposed to speculation. 10 remaining kasinas and the 4 arupas are suitable for all characters. The teacher who gives instruction in the 10 kinds of kamatana should examine the mental disposition and the character of the disciple. If the teacher does not possess the knowledge that would enable him to read the thoughts of others, he should question his disciple to this effect: what are the states to which you are prone? What is the most comfortable state for you to meditate upon? Which subject of meditation do you desire to practice? Having determined the character of the candidate in this way, he should choose the most suitable subject and give instruction in it in one of 3 ways. If the student has previously studied a kamatana, he should have him recite its formula at 1 or 2 sittings, and give further instructions concerning it. If the disciple lives with his teacher, instruction should be given at every opportunity. If his pupil wishes to study the subject and then go elsewhere, the teacher should teach it in detail. The disciple, having approached a good teacher who can give him a subject of meditation, should entrust himself to the Buddha and to his teacher with firm resolution should ask for a subject. A subject of meditation to be taken as a kamatana is twofold: that which is universally beneficial, sabata haka kamatana, and that which is special, parihariya, to the individual character, as mentioned in the preceding chapter. A special subject selected because it is suitable to the particular disposition of the individual is called parihariya. 6. A suitable place for meditation. The Buddhist scriptures tell us that in the early stage of Buddhism, 9 types of places were considered to be the most suitable dwelling for the practice of meditation. They were a forest, arana, the foot of a tree, ruku hamula, a mountain, pabata, a hillside, kandara, a rock cave, girihu, a cemetery, susana, the depth of the jungle, vanapata, in the open air, abohasa, and a heap of straw, palalapunja. All these come under the heading of a secluded dwelling. The secluded dwelling may be chosen according to climatic conditions and the physical state of the disciple or his particular temperament. The type of dwelling given as most suitable for one that has undertaken the practice of meditation, mindfulness of breathing, or anapanasati meditation, or the foot of a tree, the open air, a cemetery, or an empty house. But those who have taken the ascetic vows, Bhutanga, with regard to their dwelling, should not live in sheltered dwellings. Among the Dhutangas mentioned in the Vinaya and described in the Visuddhimagga, 4 places are said to be most suitable: the forest, the foot of a tree, the open field, and a cemetery are given as the most suitable dwellings for an ascetic. These 4 places have special advantages for meditators. The forest dwelling. According to the Vinaya, a forest embraces all that which lies outside a village and its precinct. The Abhidhamma states that the forest commences when one passes the village outpost, but in regard to ascetic practices, as we learn from the Suttanta, that forest dwelling is said to be at least 500 whole lengths distant from the boundary. The advantages of living in the forest are as follows. A monk who lives in the forest can easily acquire concentration not yet acquired or developed, that which has already been attained. As the Buddha said, I am pleased with the forest life of a monk, as he is sustained by the necessary qualification of moral purity when living in the forest. He does not experience the terrors which are experienced by those who are impure in deed, word and thought. The Visuddhimagga states that, putting away all craving for life, he enjoys the blissful happiness and calmness and solitude. Secluded, detached, delighting in solitude, the monk by his forest life endears himself unto the Buddha. Living alone in the forest, he obtains that bliss which even the god Indra does not taste. Wearing but Pamsukula as his coat of mail, coming to the forest battle armed with other ascetic vows, he before long shall conquer Mara and his army, so that the wise should delight in the forest life. A dwelling at the foot of a tree. According to the Vinaya, Ruka Mula Sena Sanam Nisiyate Papaja, your renunciation of home life depends on the dwelling at the foot of a tree, for living under a tree is the proper requisite for a monk. Furthermore, it is the best of all dwellings, as it easily obtained and faultless as regard the need of care, duty, or attention. It facilitates the perception of impermanence, eliminates the taint of craving for dwellings, provides the company of the tree deities, and fulfills the ascetic virtue of simplicity. The disciple who chooses the foot of a tree as his lodging place should avoid certain trees. A tree on the border between two countries, a sacred tree like a Bodhi tree, a resinous tree, a fruit tree, a tree on which bats live, a tree which is hollow, or a tree growing in the middle of a vihara. This is summarized in the following way. Extolled by the Buddha, best of ascetic requisites for a lonely man, what abode is as excellent as the foot of a tree. Disciplined, occupied in such solitude, protected by gods, he is free from taints of craving for dwellings. Deep red tender buddings turn green, then suddenly dry. He sees the leaves falling. This teaches him the law of change. The meditator's home, the Buddha's heritage. A dwelling in an open field. The disciple who rejects a roof and also the foot of a tree as his dwelling place should live in an open field. He should dwell in the open air, in a shelter made of leaves, or in a tent, or in a hollow amid rocks but open to sky. The Samyutta Nikaya states, like the deer that walks without care, the homeless monk lives untrammeled. in freedom detached from the cares and duties consequent upon residence in a house, the dispersal of sloth and torpor, the opportunity to go at will in any direction, a life led in conformity with ascetic simplicity. These are the advantages of living in the open air, as it is described in the Visuddhimagga. The monk lives the simple homeless life beneath the sky canopy of starry gems. In the open field lit by the moon, sloth and torpor he drives away. Full of delight he meditates, mind free, therefore the wise should live this life. A dwelling in a cemetery. Living in a cemetery is especially suitable for those who practice the Asubha meditation or develop mindfulness of death. The disciple who chooses it should inform the head of the Sangha or the headman of the village in order to guard against any danger that might befall him. During the daytime he should note the object of his meditation, a swollen corpse for example, so that it may not appear dreadful to him at night. Walking to and fro he should look with half-closed eyes at the burning of a corpse. He should refrain from eating such foods as fried meat, fish and fowl, which are dear to subhuman beings. Living in a cemetery yields the following advantages: attainment of mindfulness regarding death, acquisition of the sign of the fowl, a life of vigilance, elimination of sensual lust, perpetual observation of the nature of the body, disappearance of the pride of life, triumph over fear and terror, and so forth, as the Visuddhimagga states. By the power of his mindfulness of death, the recluse who lives in a cemetery, even while he sleeps, is not touched by the faults of negligence, because he beholds numerous corpses. His mind does not succumb to lust. His disgust is great, there is no pride in him. He makes a great effort to liberate himself. Nirvana is the goal that he should reach. Even so, the wise, desirous of this goal, should practice such a mode of life. The 18 unsuitable plagues for meditation. Those who are unable to live in dwellings such as these are allowed to live an avasa or a monastery in obedience to the Vinaya rules. But in the Visuddhimagga there are 18 classes of monasteries which are unsuitable for meditation practice. 1. A large monastery where one meets many persons with different shades of thought is unsuitable because through mutual opposition one may find various duties being neglected, and to fulfill them oneself would not give sufficient time for meditation, and there is also the possibility of continual disturbance. 2. In a new monastery there may be much work to be done by the inmates, and if this were left undone according to the Vinaya rules, the disciple would be blamed. 3. In living in a dilapidated place one would find much to repair, and if this were left undone he would be blamed. But if one does the work, the subject of meditation is neglected. 4. In a place where there is a well or a fountain used by the public, the meditation would be disturbed by those who come for water. 5. In a monastery situated near a highway, travellers may arrive day and night. In attending to their needs as one's duty demands, one may find no time for meditation. 6. In a place where there are medicinal herbs of various kinds, the meditators will be disturbed by people who come for them. 7. A similar hindrance may be found in a monastery where there is a flower garden supplying the needs of many people. 8. A monastery where there are various kinds of fruits such as mangoes, rose apple and jackfruit will be a disturbing place, because many people come asking for fruit, or he will be disturbed by children who come for fruit. 9. He who lives in a monastery of historical interest and considered by many as famous and worthy of veneration will be disturbed by people who come to visit the place and see the monk in charge, regarding him as a saint, such he lives in such a sacred place. 10. A monastery situated in a town is unsuitable, for objects may present themselves that gives rise to temptation, and there may also be many other hindrances. 11. In a woodland monastery, the disciple may be disturbed by those who come to collect firewood or fell trees for various purposes. 12. A monastery surrounded by farms or arable land is unsuitable, for the farmers and labourers may disturb the meditator. 13. Living in a place where there are persons of different view, opposed and inimical to each other, will be a hindrance to the meditator. 14. A monastery near a seaport or trading centre is unsuitable for meditation, because it is disturbed and made unpleasant by people engaged in commerce. 15. A monastery situated in a distant place where the inhabitants have no faith in the Buddha, the Dhamma and the Sangha is unsuitable, for one may find difficulty in obtaining requisites and other necessities. 16. Living in a monastery situated on the boundaries of two kingdoms is unsuitable, for there is the danger of political disturbances. 17. A monastery surrounded by undesirable objects and haunted by evil spirits is unsuitable, for there may be many dangers and perils. 18. If in a monastery there is no teacher or good friend available, this is a great disadvantage. These places are unsuitable because of their numerous faults, which could prove a hindrance. If any one of these places should chance to be free from hindrances, it may be suitable. Otherwise, the meditator should leave such places and seek out a dwelling endowed with the following 5 qualities. 1. Neither too far from nor too near to the village. 2. Easily accessible. 3. Not crowded by day. 4. Calm and quiet at night, free from the annoyance of vermin, where there is no difficulty in obtaining the requisites of life. 5. It should be a place where a good friend or suitable and experienced teacher is available. The acquisition of dwelling endowed with these 5 qualities is termed Vasa Sapaya, and it is indispensable for the immediate success of meditation.